Hello, Divi Nation. If you haven't heard by now, let me be the first to tell you that as a part of our Divi Design Initiative, our design team has been pumping out some brand new Divi Layout packs for you. They're free every single week. You can download them from the articles every Monday. In them, they have everything you need to get a site up and running in just a few minutes. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be walking you through 10 steps to using a new layout pack on your next project. I'll even throw in some not so well known tips on how to handle your layout like a pro. So let's jump right in and get started walking you through these steps together. All right, let's go ahead and get started on our 10 steps that you should follow when adding a new Divi layout pack to your next project. Try to keep these steps in order as much as possible whenever you're doing the tutorial because they are meant to be done in order. Now, before we start with number one, let's go ahead and just go over what I have done so far. Right now, I have a new install of WordPress, obviously. I also have a new install of Divi, the Divi theme. And I've already gone to my article and downloaded the layout pack. This one is the fashion layout pack that I'll be using. And so that's already been downloaded to my computer, and I've unzipped the layout pack so that I have access now to the individual JSON files that are inside of the folder. All right, so the first step is to import the Divi layouts to your Divi library first. So let's go ahead and do that by going to our WordPress dashboard. I'm already here. And then going down to Divi and then Divi library. Once there, go up to the import and export button up here, click that, and the portability modal pops up, and you're going to select the import tab, click choose file, and you'll see that I have access to my fashion layout pack files here. So I'm going to click on the one that says fashion all. Yours is probably going to be named something different, but it will have the word all in it, so make sure you find that one. That way it'll import all of these at once instead of having to do them individually. Go ahead and open that and select import Divi builder layouts. All right, once that's done, you'll see them added to your library. You'll notice that the name of the layout will be listed first along with its corresponding page, which is helpful for finding it in the future. Now that our layouts have been imported, let's go ahead and start adding them to our pages. To do that, from your WordPress dashboard, navigate to Pages, Add New. All right, so I'm going to add my home page first. And each one of these pages will correspond to the, whatever page layout is included in the layout pack. Make sure and click on to use the Divi Builder. Inside the Divi Builder, you're going to select the tab Load from Library. In the Load Layout modal that pops up, you're going to click the tab that says Add from Library. That way you can see all of these new layouts available for you that you have imported. Go ahead and select the one that corresponds to your page, which in this case is Home. Click Load, and there you are. Don't forget to publish the page. Just take a quick peek, view the page. You can see there it is. Now, we're going to continue to repeat this process for each one of our pages that corresponds to our page layout. But before I complete all of those, I'm going to show you how to do it from the Visual Builder if that is your preference. To do that, let's go ahead and add a new page again. Let's go ahead and make this our landing page. And then click to use the Divi Builder. This time I'm going to select Use Visual Builder. Once the Visual Builder loads, find the menu at the bottom here. Open it up and then find this little Add to Library icon here, the plus icon. Load from Library, and then select it. Once that pops up, you're going to select Add from Library tab. And then you're going to simply find the layout that corresponds to this page. In this case, it is landing. Select it, and you will see it come to life immediately. Don't forget to publish. And you can start to see your links to your new pages that you've been adding pop up in your navigation menu up here. This is, of course, if you have a new install of Divi. Let's go ahead and continue this process by adding our new pages and adding our new layouts to each one of those pages. I'm not going to walk through every single page with you right now, but you're going to want to head and go do that. And I will skip to the part where I am done. All right, now that they all have been added up here to my menu, I have a page that corresponds to each of my page layouts. At this point, it's a good idea to go through them and, check them out, make sure they look correct. Just keep in mind, some of these are going to have like a shop or a blog in them, so these wouldn't be functional right out the gate. As you can see, this one has a short code that is dependent on WooCommerce being installed. And that's it for number 2. Let's go ahead and go to step number 3, which is to create your primary menu. Go ahead and navigate to your WordPress dashboard, go to Appearance, go to Menus, and from the Menus page, you're going to want to create a new menu. I'm going to go ahead and call mine Primary Menu. Once that's entered, click Create Menu. And now you can select all your pages over here on the left side by clicking this helpful link here, Select All, and then I'm going to add them to my menu. And don't forget down here to select Primary Menu for the display location of this menu. Click Save Menu and you are done. Let's go ahead and check it out on the live site. All right, so I went ahead and jumped over to my home page, which is showing this, page that I don't want to be shown as my home page. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard and I'm going to go down to Appearance, scratch that. Let's go down to Settings and to Reading. And from there, I'm going to select my front page display to be a static page, and I'm going to select my front page as Home. Now let's go ahead and visit the site. As you can see, my main primary navigation menu has been created. And that's it for number 3. Let's go ahead and go to step number 4, which is to set your default color palette. To do that, go to your dashboard, navigate to Divi Theme Options, and you can see your color palette is right here under your General tab, and it's labeled as Color Picker's Default Palette. Here is where you're going to, put the colors that go with whatever it is your color scheme is for your website. At this moment, it's a good idea, if you're going to keep the colors that are for your layout, to go and grab those colors from your layout and then put them in this default color palette. That way they'll be ready for you to use in the future when doing certain edits, customizations. One good way to get some of these colors for your default palette is to simply go and open up your website here, and let's go ahead and go to the landing page. This page seems to have a lot of colors that I may want to pull from. Go ahead and deploy the Visual Builder. You could also use an extension for your browser, like an eyedrop tool or whatever, to go ahead and select these. It might be easier for you to do it that way. I like to actually go into the layout and do it because it allows me to get the exact code, and that way I know for sure it's that exact color. And so let's see, I like this pink. I want to use it, but it looks like it's a gradient. So let's go ahead and find the button. And I'm going to go to the button module settings here. I'm going to go down to the Design tab here, go to the button section, and I'm going to search for this pink color here and simply grab it. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go back to my theme here, to my color picker, and I'm going to swap out this red color for this pink. Now it's going to be ready for me in my color palette. And I can go ahead and find the rest of the colors here on this page. If you see a gradient, one idea is to just grab both of the colors used for the gradient. Let's go here to our row backgrounds, and there it is. So column 2 background has this gradient, and you can see there's 2 colors used here. I can simply grab these colors and place them in my palette. And you can see this process is pretty straightforward. After you have finished uploading all the necessary colors to your palette, you are ready for step number 5. Step number 5 is to set your global accent color. Okay, don't forget to save your changes. And let's go ahead and go over to Divi Theme Customizer. In the Theme Customizer, you will find your default accent color under General Settings, under Layout Settings, and then right here at the bottom, Theme Accent Color. Right now it's the default blue. You're going to want to change that to that pink. But since you already added your default color palette, it's already there, right there for you, nice and convenient. Select the pink and go ahead and save and publish. Now at this moment, you will want to exit out and then refresh the page. Now I go back to my theme customizer and it should update those things. Once you've completed that, you're ready for step number 6. Step number 6 is to style your header, which is this right up here. To do that, you're going to go in your theme customizer. From the main menu here, you're going to click on header and navigation. After that, we're going to go down to this section called primary menu. And you can see my accent color has already updated these things down here, which is nice. But we want to go ahead and make some additional changes to match this menu with our theme. Maybe we want to go ahead and change our font to match the body font of the layout. To do that, just make it Poppins. All right. Once that's selected, maybe I want to increase the text size a little bit. Let's go ahead and make our background color the pink. And let's go ahead and change our text color to white. It's always a good idea to keep the dark version of our color here in your palette as well as white for convenience. And there you go. Let's go ahead and change that back to white. And now you have a nav that pretty closely matches your site. Make sure you save and publish. You also want to go ahead and customize your fixed navigation at this time to go ahead and match your site. I actually like the way it looks right now, since it's pulling your default accent color for the background of your fixed navigation, which is nice. And that's it for step number 6. Let's go on to step number 7, which is to style your bottom bar. Let's go back to our main menu under Theme Customizer. Go down to Footer section. Click on Bottom Bar here. And let's go ahead and scroll down and let's see these changes as they happen. Let's go ahead and change our background color to our pink. And maybe you'll notice that it's showing that black behind it, so we want to kind of pull this back up. And I like it to be a little bit darker, so let's just pull this up a little bit there. And then the text color, let's go ahead and make it white. All right. And then let's go ahead and make our social icon color white as well. So let's go ahead and save our changes and exit out of the theme customizer. And let's go ahead and go to our site. All right, now we're ready for number 8, which is really how to use some shortcuts to make design changes to your page layouts. A lot of times you will want to change your headers or your fonts or your the way your body text looks throughout your page. And it makes sense to go ahead and do that from the theme customizer. But some of these elements, because it is a layout, these are edited on a module level. So editing it from the theme customizer may not work, since this module would override it. Let me just go ahead and show you what I mean by that. If I go over to the landing page here, and let's go ahead and deploy the theme customizer, and I'll show you what I mean. So inside the theme customizer on this landing page, I can see that I have the ability to edit certain things, but some things I won't. Like, for instance, if I go to my general settings to typography, let's see, I could probably change the header text size, since this is kind of taking on the default for the most part. But my body text size, as you can see, I'm scrolling it and it doesn't move. That's because it is already set inside the module, so the module's overriding it. So you'd want to go ahead and either restore those to their default, or go ahead and edit each one as you go throughout the page. All right, I'm going to go ahead and exit out here so that we can make a few changes to our landing page. Show you a few of these shortcuts. All right, so we're in the Visual Builder here, and let's say that I want to restore some of these elements to their default. Like I just showed you, the body text isn't really editable from the theme customizer because this is being overridden in the module settings. So one thing we can do is click on the text module settings here, go over to the Design tab, and under the text toggle here, you can see one trick to recognize which ones have been changed, which options have been changed, is that you'll see this little icon to the right. It's the little restore to default icon. If it's there, that means this option has been changed, and you can then go ahead and click it to restore it to its default. As you can see, the font needs to be changed back to its default, maybe the text size back to its default, and the line height back to its default. Another little trick is to go ahead and use the search options box bar up here. And this little search bar is helpful whenever you know that you want to just change the text items. Just type in text up there, and it'll just automatically pull all of the options that have to do with your text settings, and it kind of gets rid of your toggles as well, so you can just kind of scroll through all of them right here. Also, if I wanted to just edit the button, for example, if I had a button, well, I don't have a button on the text module, but maybe shadow, type in shadow, and it pulls up all of the shadow options for text and things like that. Also, you can go down to this menu here, click on the options, the builder setting options here, and you can toggle this setting off that says group settings into closed toggles if you want to speed up the process of scrolling through your items. All right, so now that I've edited my text module here back to its default, I still need to do it for these as well. And so don't forget that you have these right-click options here. So I just right-click on my module and copy the style there, and then right-click on this text module, paste style, and it's going to paste it in there. Now notice that I'm pulling a white style there, so I might have to go in here and just quickly change that back to a darker color. All right, so now that I have that, I can copy this style, paste it over here, and paste this one, so on, all the way down my page, a lot quicker than having to do each one individually within the settings. And then if I go ahead and save this out, and then go to my theme customizer for this page. And navigate to my typography. And now I should be able to change my body text. As you can see, now I can change my size here. I can change my body line height if I need to, and it will do it for all of the modules that are restored back to its default. Now, one last tip that I want to show you. Let's go back to my home page here, and let's go ahead and edit the page from using the backend builder. And right now it is only available in the backend builder. So if you find yourself just wanting to restore all of your design settings back to its default without having to go and click through all of them, you can do that. Just go to your backend builder here, click on whatever module you want to restore to the default, click on your design tab, and you'll see that restore to default icon pop up there. And once you click on this little icon here, it'll prompt you to make sure that you want to erase all that, and you can click yes, and then it'll restore all of these settings to the default, and then you can save it out that way. All right, now we're ready for step number 9, which is how to save key elements to build new pages or posts. We're probably going to want to use some of these elements again and again as we build new things. A lot of our layouts up here are great, but maybe we have a page in mind that we need to build that doesn't really fit the mold of these layouts. In that case, you would want to carry some of these elements over to give you a head start on building those new pages or posts. I say posts because if you want, you could even choose to use some of these elements to style your own custom post layout for your blogs as well. All right, so every page should have a header of some sort. So maybe we maybe we don't want a header from this page. Maybe we want to go to our home page here, and let's go ahead and enable our visual builder on our home page, and let's grab this header here. This looks like a maybe one that we can easily customize to fit all of our future pages. To do that, I would need to hover over the section and click this save to library or add to library. Call it header. All right, that's saved to our library. And maybe we want to bring in maybe this section header here. Let's actually grab this one. It's already centered. And actually, this might be a good idea to just take this whole row of elements. That way, it'll give us a head start for building another section of our page. To do that, I'm just going to add this row to the library, call it section header, save to library. And I like this button here. It's always a good idea to grab both a light and a dark version of your button. I'll call this white button. And let's go ahead and grab this pink one here as well. That way, if I need to add some of those things, I can do them easily by grabbing them from my library. Last thing I want to grab from this page is this footer section down here. All right. And now let's say I want to build a new page. So I'll go click to build a new page here. And once I'm there, just call this new page. And then I'll use the visual builder. All right, so now I'm starting with a blank slate here. And let's say I need to start with adding a header first. So I'm going to add a regular section from my library here. I should have a header section. All right, let's pull that back up here and erase this one. And the next thing, let's go ahead and add a regular section, give it a full width, 1 column layout here. And I want to add a header, but I need to do that from the row section, from the row level here. So I'll add a new row, add from my library. There's my section header. So there you go. And if I wanted to, I could also add a module right underneath that header there to add a button. Let's make it a pink button. I took one that was left aligned. That's no big deal. Just go in the design tab and make it centered. All right. And lastly, let's go ahead and build a footer section here. That's how you grab, elements from your layouts in order to, build new pages. The best thing about this is keeps your design consistent throughout your website. And briefly, the last step is to consider, making some of these global items. Global items can be a great time saver when you make future edits to your site, but it does take a little bit of foresight. You need to identify which elements of your layouts will be used frequently throughout your site and will require, more uniform updates that should happen to all of them at the same time. Good candidates for this would be, footer sections like this. It would make sense to go ahead and make this a global item. Also, these email opt-ins you may have scattered throughout your website. That's a good option to have as a global item. And of course, all sections, rows, and modules can be made global items. Also, call to actions is another one. Buttons is a good one. And so just to show you as an example, and when I save it to my library, this time I'm just going to call it a global footer. And then I click this option right here to save as a global item. And now every time I add this to my page and make an edit to any one of these sections, it's going to make that edit throughout all the website wherever this one is located. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and please go ahead and give a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. That way you can get notified every single time we have a new video for you. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you soon.